How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? I really appreciate the opportunity to join you today. My name is Greg, and I am from Supreme Parties. What is Supreme Parties? Well, we're a professional DJ entertainment company that has been around since 1994, and we do everything: weddings, bar mitzvahs, sweet 16s, anniversaries, corporate events, Spanish, you name it, we do it all. You can find us at supremeparties.com. That's SUPREMEPARTIES.com, and you can reach us at 888-877-2270. Again, that's 888-877-2270. Professional DJs at your service, there for you from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. every single day. And we're the real deal, by the way. We don't use playlists. If you want to change and you want a real DJ and you want to have a great party, call us. You tried the rest, now try the best.
Welcome to episode 291 of Backpacking America. I'm your host, Anthony Perrone. Today I'm here with DJ Greg from SupremeParties.com. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing great, and I really appreciate you having me here on your show. This means the world to me, bro.
Listen, it's a pleasure to have you on. I'm glad that we met. And you have a very interesting story. You're not like any other DJ, which is pretty cool. A lot of DJs today.
Absolutely not.
So let's just jump right into it. Tell us a little bit about what sets you apart from other DJs.
Well, first, let me straighten out the myth that everybody has about DJs. They think, well, you're a little bit young. So, back in the day, people would watch MTV when they actually had music videos. And you would see these DJs come on and these girls hanging from chandeliers. And I'm like, this is bull. Even then it was bull. It's not true. And a lot of another mistake, that people make is, I'm invited to a party, whatever, and that, they're always like, sarcastic. Oh, so you work on the weekends. What do you do during the week? And my response to them is always the same, which is, oh, really? So gigs or events, as your audience might know it, just falls from the air, right? Someone is getting married and it just appears on my lap and I just show up. No, that's a complete hogwash. First of all, you gotta advertise every day, and especially in New York. Remember, I'm not in Utah, and if there's any Utah listeners, no offense, but
I hate Utah. Don't worry.
Well, he hates it. There you go. He said it. I didn't. but we're in New York. We're in Long Island, and it's a cutthroat business. And the problem is that everybody, especially now in 2024, they think they could be a DJ. They say, I know, Ma, I'll be a DJ. And then, they get the little mixer and they get the computer, but they don't know how to run a wedding. I could get 50 DJs in here and I'll say, I want you to tell me how you line people up to do an intro at a wedding. None of them would know. You see what I'm saying? They know how to do this and then press a button, but that's not a DJ. So you have to advertise during the week. I have to meet with the clients. I have to go over everything from top to bottom. They got to sign the contract. There's so much to do, and then things break down. If you know anybody, any listeners that equipment that lasts forever and will never break down, give me a call. I'll be more than happy to call them, because it's bull. Everything breaks down just like anything else, like cars or whatever. So you have to fix the equipment, because no one wants to. You can't show up at a gig. So you're getting married, let's say. I can't show up at your event and say, hey, I'm really sorry. The speaker's blown. You're just going to have to deal with one speaker. Or the mic's not working, so the best man, when he makes his toast, is going to have to, talk really loud. You don't want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. No. You want to hear everything's perfect, because you're already nervous enough.
Yeah. So
I think I'm different in the sense that, first of all, especially in this day and age, a lot of DJs do it remotely. I don't do that. I'm one of the few DJs that are willing to travel to that person's home. So again, we'll use marriage. Somebody's getting married. I would say to them, okay, when are you live with your fiance? Yes. When are you both home? Well, we're both home at this time. Great. We work 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. 7 days a week. Most DJs have a full-time job during the week, and then they do this on the side. And I'm like, really? When do you prepare the music? When do you, go over your equipment? When do you test things? When do you get that? To me, they're fake. They're not. A real DJ is the person that started in the basement and practiced as a kid and then kept with it his whole life. That's a real DJ. So one of the things that, as I said, that makes me different is I'm willing to meet the couple or the people in person in their home or place of choosing prior to the event and go over everything from top to bottom. And then I don't come there with hidden fees. guess what? It's $1 million. I don't do that. I tell them up front, this is what it's going to cost. And I work with people. Yes, I have prices on my website, but they're not written in stone. So if I meet somebody, yeah, I'm not doing it for free, but if I meet somebody and, hey, can you do this? Of course I'll work with them. I understand that. And because of that, I get a lot of repeat business.
That's great. And you have to be flexible in business. I mean, I've had people where, my prices aren't totally set in stone either. I mean, especially when I first started out, you have to be a little malleable. But, I think that's great that you also work with people that you get business in not really conventional ways either. I mean, you were telling me a great story before we started that someone had the wrong number, was given the wrong number.
That really
you
happened.
Turned it into business.
Yeah.
Tell them the story. Tell them the story.
Well, basically, I got a call, and it was from this young woman, and I'm like, being a man, of course, you want to start, hey, what's up? You want to go in that mode. You're a guy, New York, you're going in that mode. It's a wrong number. But somehow something in the back of my mind said, what if she's married? What if she has a boyfriend? Then you don't get anything. So I said to myself, you want to meet her? Okay, go into business mode. So immediately I said, do you mind if I ask you a personal question? She goes, what is it? I said, are you married? She goes, yes, why? And then immediately, so now I know I can't hit on her. But immediately I went into, hey, I don't know if you have kids or whatever. I happen to own a DJ company. So why don't you save my number as DJ Greg from Supreme Parties? And if you ever have a party, call me. Remind me about this phone call, and I'll hook you up with a great price. Boom. Couple months later, I did their kids' party in the backyard. It was great, and there you go. Wrong number turned it. So you never know. Always remember that. You never know. There's I was telling you before about a movie. And if you're into marketing, you should watch it. Everybody should watch this movie. It's an oldie. It's from the 90s. I guess for you, an oldie. It's called Glengarry Glen Ross. And Alec Baldwin gives a speech. And in the speech, he says, always be closing. So that to me is what it's like. It's like I'm trying to always close the deal. People see things differently. Like you might go to 7-Eleven, for example, and you see a woman coming out with 3 kids, let's say. You're like, oh, okay. You won't even notice it. It goes over your head. Me, I see the 3 birthday parties right there. You know what I'm saying? I see them growing up, and I see graduation parties, high school graduation parties, college graduation parties, marriages. I see 10 parties right there. So I give them a card. I've gotten a lot of gigs that way. You never know. You never know.
And that's hustler right there. Now, that reminded me of the earlier point you made where a lot of DJs do this as a side hobby. And I've seen that in my business too. Like a lot of my clients that have been burned by social media companies, either they're very expensive and borderline a scam, or it's people doing it as a side hobby, and then, it ends up screwing the client over. So what led in your industry? I know what happened in my industry, and I'm kind of curious if the same phenomenon happened, but in your industry, what do you think led to the rise of the part-time DJ and the press a button and hit shuffle DJ? Like you run through your Spotify
Wow, that's
playlist.
an interesting question. I think, time definitely had to play with it. You have to understand things progress over time. Like there's a saying that every 2 years a computer has to increase by a certain amount of speed. So I think it was just time and technology had a lot to do with it. I think the charisma or the aura, if you will, of being a DJ, especially from people saw it on social media that I could do that, I could do that, I could do that. No, you can't, and people get this allure. I could promise the people who are watching this and listening to this, I don't go home. There's not women on chandeliers swinging, because if that was the case, I would be there and not here. Bottom line, it's bull crap. I live in a house just like them. It's all these things. And I think the internet, things like Spotify hasn't helped. Because people now think, well, I can do it myself. And what they do is they get a Spotify list or a playlist off YouTube, and they simply hook it up to a Bluetooth speaker, and that's not a DJ. And the reason why that's not a DJ, and because you have to understand what the biggest mistake that people also make is what I call the crystal ball effect, which is, let's say in your playlist, you have 10 hip hop songs in a row. And everybody's up dancing, and after 5 songs, people start leaving the dance floor. You can't just keep playing hip-hop. No one's on the dance floor now. Now what are you going to do? But when you have a live DJ who's there, and who knows how to read a crowd. See, it's not just having a live DJ. You have to have a DJ that knows what he's doing and can actually physically see, you know, what's going on with the crowd, and then play the appropriate music. Well, maybe I should switch it up to reggae. Maybe I should switch it up to rock. Maybe I should switch it up to pop or dance, whatever, and then get people back up or get a whole nother group of other people back up. A lot of DJs, they get into their own zone and they think, I'm the DJ, I'm the best, I'm the king. And it's not about that. It's about what the crowd wants, not necessarily what you want, but what the crowd wants. And not every DJ can do that. You also have to be eclectic in the different types of formats. For example, you have to be eclectic in Bollywood, which is Indian type of music. You have to be eclectic in Russian, you know, in Spanish, and you can't just say Spanish. Because when I get a call for a Spanish party, you know, I break it down for them. What does that mean? You want Spanish? You want cumbia? You want salsa? You want merengue? You want maracha? You want, you know, reggaeton? You know, what do you want? So, and they're like, wow, this white guy seems to know all about this. Yeah, I do. You know, I've been doing it a long time. So I think another reason why I get gigs is because of the fact that, you know, I really make it a point to make sure that the party gets done right, and anything less is just, you know, not acceptable to me.
So how did you learn all of these different genres? That's one thing I've always wondered about DJs, because I didn't even know half of the genres you just talked about. I have no fucking idea. So how did you, like, was it an overtime thing? Or
it's a combination of several things. See, if you really want to go back in time, I was always the clown kid, you know, and hey. And back then, you know, there was no Be a Star or American Idol, you know, it was YouTube. I'm a little bit older. I won't say how old, but I'm a little bit older. So I'm older than your host, I'll tell you that. But they didn't have that. So what did parents do? Oh, he needs to go to private school, you know, and there's no true story. So when I was in private school, you know, I used to walk around the, you know, the halls all the time, and I was into hip hop, you know, 13, 14, 15 years old. You know, and do that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Now the other students liked it, but you know, the teachers didn't like it at all. He's not doing anything. So they called my parents. And I didn't know this. They called my parents. And I come home on break, and back then it was cassettes. I had a whole wall. So imagine a whole wall full of cassettes, all hip hop, one after the other, boom, 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 boom. And all of a sudden it was gone. And to this day, I don't know what happened to those tapes. Oh, we took it away because they said it's distracting you. Well, what the heck am I supposed to listen to? And my parents said, here, listen to this. And it was 50s music, doo-wop. I'm like, what am I supposed to, you know? But I started listening to it. And then when I got into DJing, I realized, oh, it's good to know this music, because if I get an older crowd, you know, they'll choose me. For example, one time I had a meeting, and there was an actual doo-wop group sitting next to me, and a real one from back in the day. And I was sitting there, and we were going back and forth, and the guy who was hiring us didn't know who to choose. You know, he never told either one of us that we were going to be there. And he said, well, screw it, I'll put on doo-wop records. And he put it on, and I was guessing him, and I was quicker than them, and they were there. They were born in that era. I was much quicker, and boom, you know. And then you're right, over time, you learn different genres. Like, we would figure out where the best DJs were. Like, some of the older crowd may remember a place called the Bordy Barn, you know, where you go and they give you the stickers and the beer, whatever. So I would go right up to the DJ. If you know the lingo, you can finagle your way to the DJ booth. And I would say, hey, I'm a DJ, here's my card. Can you give me a list of songs that you play? You know, and then he would give us a list of like 20 songs. That's now up to like 500 songs.
Wow.
So somebody has to like play what they play at the Bordy Barn and play this or play that. And the real trick is knowing what song they want as they're walking up, based upon what they're dressed like, what their age, you know, what they look, everything. And my partner could do that very well. I'm pretty good. My partner's a little bit better. But, you know, it takes a lot of skill to be able to do that.
Wow. That's impressive. And it sounds, you know, it's funny how, you know, when you're a kid, something that seems like the worst thing in the world is actually a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, well, great. I won't tell my parents that.
Yeah, don't.
Because I hated them at the time. But you know, it really made a difference, you know, to learn all the different genres. So then you learn the 50s, the 60s, because I don't believe you could be a real DJ if you just specialize in one thing. Like, there's a lot of DJs that specialize. Like, if you go to, for example, and if you go to Patchogue, okay, and 80% of the bars there and 80% of the DJs there, it's all the same thing. You know what I mean? I could do that in my sleep. I could teach a kindergartner how to mix that. It's literally anywhere from 128 to 155 beats per minute. It's no talent. You know what I mean? And then you put on another song on the other side of the mixer, and you move the crossfade over it, and it just goes right into it.
Now, how do you get the music licenses?
How do I get the what?
Do you get music licenses?
Well, what I do, like everybody else, the truth is I go on YouTube like everybody else. Because you have to understand something. You know, first of all, you come up to the DJ booth, okay, and you're the groom. And you're getting married, all right? So you're the groom, and you come up to the DJ booth, and you want a song, and you want that song now. What do I got to do? I got to download it off YouTube, turn it into an MP3, and get that song up in 30 seconds. Otherwise, you know, it doesn't work. So, you know, to me, public domain. That's how I look at it. Yeah. I'm not selling it. You know, I'm not selling the music. That's wrong. I'm playing it so people will dance. If anything, I'm helping the artist. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that people take piracy laws a little too seriously to the point where it's like, it's not piracy if you're not profiting off it and you're trying to make something better.
Well, you know, it depends on what profiting is. Like if I was selling, you know, mix back in the day, you know, mixed CDs or mixed tapes.
Oh yeah, that's different.
Or here's a USB stick with 5,000 songs. Give me $100 for it. That's one thing. But you know, I'm at a party. Yeah. You know, I am licensed. I am insured. That I am. You know, but I don't say. You know, I don't. Never an artist never came up to me ever in all the years I've been doing this. Say, you know, no usher never walked in the door and you said, "You played, yeah, I want 10%."
Can you imagine?
You know what I mean?
That would be funny.
You know, I give it to him too. If he wants to walk in the door, God bless him. You're only helping me and my party. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm such a great DJ. I got Usher here.
Usher got so bent by me playing his song that he's here tonight is my guest MC.
Right.
That would be so awesome. That would be pretty gangster. Hey, at least it's not R. Kelly or Diddy though.
We won't get into them.
No.
You know, and all the conspiracy theories.
Speaking of misconceptions,
yes,
and stuff like that, what are some misconceptions people have of DJs in the DJ industry?
We're, as I said earlier, we always get the girls. Bull crap. I'm single. That is a complete lie. You know, and not because I'm older, even when I was younger. So we might get the girl, but it's only for that moment. In other words, you're cool because you're the DJ and you're giving a shout out on the mic, so that's cool. But then after the party, it's over. You're just a regular guy again, and just like that. You see it in the girls' faces, like their stars are in their eyes, but then they lose it right after the party. Oh, you're just an average guy. You know, I don't want you. Meanwhile, I'm a nice guy. I'm a good. They don't care. You know, so it's. I think that's a big misconception with DJs. We're all players. That's not true. A lot of them are. But I'm not. A lot of different misconceptions. I wouldn't even know where to begin. And as I said, the biggest one, as I said before, is that all DJs are the same, which is completely 100% false. You know, they get a guy like me, oh, I'm not paying that much. I can get this guy for $200. That's what they tell me on the phone. I've had clients tell me this, and I say, listen, if this guy does a good job at your party and he's only charging you $200, get me some videos, okay? And if he's really that good, I will pay you back the $200 because I'm going to get rich off this guy if he's willing to work that cheap and he's that good. So believe me, there's a lot of things to the art of really DJing a party that people don't know.
Well, yeah, you have to coordinate everything. You have to do it on the fly. And then, like you said, you got to check all your equipment and make sure it works. Like, just for this podcast, I came in an hour early just to make sure that the place didn't burn down.
Right.
Two, the lights work because they're LED lights. They will burn out eventually. They make sure the cameras worked. I had to rip stuff off of the HD files, the SD cards to make sure that was fine.
You also have to be, I think, not everybody's, it's called type A and type B.
Yeah.
I think type Bs can make good DJs because they don't have to necessarily talk. But a real DJ to me can MC, can DJ, and can dance. If you could do all three, then you could make it in the business. But you got to be willing to do all three. Could you just stand behind the DJ booth to do nothing? Yeah, maybe at a club you'd be good. Sure. But if you ever want to do a wedding, a bar mitzvah, a sweet 16, a corporate event, an anniversary, anything, you can't do it because you're going to say something on the mic, you know? And what are you going to be, a funeral director? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody wants that. People want, hey, oh, hey. So in order to do that, you have to be a people person, which I've always been. Like I have, and excuse my French, I have balls of steel. I will get, like for example, if you've ever gone out to a karaoke bar, like, you know, and, you know, people are nervous, they have to get drunk to get up. I don't. I will get up on the mic and I'll start singing and dancing and jumping up on tables. And I watch the other girls get jealous. How come you don't do that for me? You know, so it's hilarious, but it takes a lot. It really takes a lot. And there's a lot of letdowns. There's a lot of rejections, you know, and you have to be willing to deal with it. And there's so many people, forgive me, that are just stupid. They really are. They're just plain dumb. And as I said, they don't understand the art of truly hiring a DJ. We're making and breaking the party. If you leave a big party, what do you remember? You remember the food and you remember the music.
Yeah.
Right? And your friends and everything else. You don't remember it. Nothing else matters. If the DJ sucks, you're going to tell everybody. But if the DJ is good, maybe you tell a few people. But what if the DJ was great? You might mention it. You might take a card. So that's why I try and go over and above what other DJs do.
Yeah.
I really try and do that.
I
in
still
every party.
remember I went to Meatball and there was a DJ that was playing every type of music from like emo to country, and it would just be like, it would be like this crazy MC. It would be like one of the like Black Parade, or it'd be like I'm Not Okay by MCR, and then it would swing into like what is it with the fried chicken song? Cold beer on a Friday night. Who is that guy?
Dude. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, that guy. It would swing to that song. Everything's blanking me with that song. And it would swing into that, then it would swing into like 50 Cent, and it was like, and it worked.
Well, then that's a good DJ.
That was a very good DJ.
You know, that happens to be a good DJ because a real DJ like that, for example, whoever that was, I don't know, but they recognize the crowd because there's people there of all ages. You got to take care of the 20-year-olds, the 30-year-olds, and so on and so forth. Yeah. That, you know, I'm surprised at Meatballs that they had a guy like that.
I was
too.
I was very surprised.
I wasn't there that night, so I can't confirm nor deny it. But I'm really surprised. Usually when I go there, as I said, it's just a constant beat, and you know, it just gives you a headache after a while.
Yeah.
You know, see, back in the day, there was a club called Heffron's. Maybe some of your listeners remember, and it was great because they had a DJ in one room that was, you know, doing hip hop and R&B and freestyle. That was really big, and dance and all that stuff. And then the other room, there was a band. So if you kind of get tired of the DJ, you can go into the other room and there was a band, you know, and they were rocking, you know, and you see all the metal heads. And then if you get tired of that, you go back and listen to the DJ. I thought that was the coolest concept, and I've never seen it before or since. I think they should reopen. If you're listening, reopen. I would go.
That's awesome. Now, I have a question for you. So what was the weirdest party you've ever DJ'd?
Oh, God.
And how'd you make it work?
That's a little bit, I don't know if parents would approve of their younger viewers hearing this story, but okay. Can I tell it? I'll tell it. All right.
There's no children that listen to this. There's no
If there is,
children.
you know, we at Supreme Parties apologize in advance. No, I was doing a party in a backyard, and this is a couple summers ago, and this is a true story. And they had a huge backyard. You could land a plane in it, and they were Italian. And let's just say, and I'm not being stereotypical against Italian people, but for the love of God, trust me when I say they were connected. They were definitely connected. You could. I'm telling you now. I'm not just saying that. They really were. The house looked like a mansion.
As an Italian American, I understand.
Right. Believe me, they had security guards. That you know what I mean? Like that were holding. Like really.
No shit.
It was like being in a mob movie. You know, and the women were beautiful, but I wouldn't dare hit on them. I was scared to death.
You were gonna.
I'm not talking to none of these. But anyway, they were all crazy. So what you could do as a DJ, I was there by myself. I didn't have a partner. If you have two people, which I always recommend, a DJ and an MC, then the MC could go off and take a break, and the DJ could go off and take a break. And I was there by myself. So when you're there by yourself, you have to put on a mix, or what's called a premix. Always have a premix. You know, a lot of DJs say DJ live, which is great, but then you never get a break. A premix is you already did a mix in a studio.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Or maybe it's 10 minutes or 20 minutes, or whatever you need. So like I had to go to the bathroom bad, you know. So I put on a mix, and I'm like, okay, people are dancing, it's working, and no one's really bothering me right now for requests, because you don't want to walk away when they're making requests.
No.
So anyway, it's going well, and I walk and I'm looking for the bathroom, because I don't see anybody around. So I'm like, I knock on doors, I open it. Okay, that's a bedroom. Knock on the next door, and I swear to God, this is exactly what I saw. There was a woman, beautiful, ridiculously hot woman, lying on, I guess, a table like this, like a table like this, naked. Hold on, and there were lines of cocaine across her body. Like going, you understand, going across her body. Not the long way, the short way, across her body. I'm not making this up. And there's guys around, doing the lines. And they all look at me like, oh, DJ, hey, you want to do some lines? Now, I don't really do drugs. So I'm thinking to myself, and I say it out loud because I just say anything. I'm like, is there any way I could possibly kiss her or sniff her or lick her between the lines? And they just all started laughing. And the girls started laughing and the cocaine almost went everywhere. And they're like, no. That's a true story. They're all dying, and the girl was trying not to laugh because the cocaine's falling. So I'm like, I got to go to the bathroom, excuse me. Now, I did come back to that room subsequently after the bathroom, but they had already left. I'm like, okay, well, that was that. That was the weirdest thing. But that's a true story.
Funny. That's fucking great.
That really happened. God. Because I didn't want to do that. You know what I mean? I don't like that stuff. So I'm not into, that's another myth. Oh, by the way, since we're on the subject.
Yes.
There's a myth that DJs all drink. Complete lie. In fact, most DJs are afraid of alcohol because of what we've seen. We've seen the good part of alcohol. That's when everyone's up dancing, having a good time and everything else. And we've seen the bad parts. That's where fights break out. I've seen police come. I've seen brothers fight. You don't want to see that. No. But I've seen it. So believe it or not, it's better than an AA meeting. I tell people, if you have a problem drinking, come with us to a party. You will never drink it. I look like that? Yes, you do. You look like that. You see guys that are drunk trying to go up to some girl because he needs the encouragement, the courage, and he's never going to get the girl. Yeah. It's like some derelict trying to get J-Lo. I'm like, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to freaking happen for you, bro. And we're just standing behind these people like, yo, watch this guy. And then he goes up, you know what I mean? And he thinks he's going to score. And then, of course, she says no, and then he goes to drink some more.
Oh, man. Then he ends up throwing up in a parking lot.
Right, throwing in a parking lot. So I've seen it all. So we don't all drink. Some do. I don't. A lot of my DJs don't. Another thing is a lot of us don't smoke either. Mm-hmm. Some do. I don't. I can't stand the smell of it. And you have to understand, even if you don't smoke, when you do certain parties in certain places, like especially house parties, you reek of it. So no, we don't. Contrary to popular belief, we're not drug users or abusers or drinkers or smokers. A lot of us don't do that because you also have to understand we're there. We have to be in control. When you do drugs, you don't want to be in control. You want to just be, we can't be spacing out and the whole dance floor is full. We got to be, okay, I got to mix this in. People coming up and making requests. It's not as easy as you think, As I said, DJs, my main thing is DJs that use playlists are fake. I will say that right to your face. DJs that use playlists are fake because what do you need? I tell people, what do you need me for? Get a radio, like I said, get your phone, attach it to it, and press play. What do you need me for? Like you said, we can't crystal ball it. You don't know what's going to happen at any time during the crowd. And I think that's the difference. It's actually in my contract. We don't use a playlist. I've walked out of meetings, $1,000 meetings, when people say, you have to play all these songs in a row. Bye.
Wow.
Bye.
Wow, that's good. That's pretty gangster.
Yeah.
That's pretty gangster. You said, no, I'm not. That's good. You don't compromise on your morals or your creative vision.
Because the party, see, here's what happens. Because the party's going to suck. And you have to understand, you think people are going to say, oh, I'm sorry, it's my fault. No, I'm the one that no, they're going to blame somebody. And who gets blamed? The DJ. And there's a lot of things behind the scenes that people don't realize, especially at big catering halls when there's maitre d's. There are some maitre d's that are cool and just work with you. Hey, 5 minutes to dinner, 5 minutes to cake. Oh, thank you. No, some of them want to tell you what to do. And you're like, yo, I don't tell you how to make the damn food. Let me freaking DJ. So when that happens, I remember one time I was DJing a party. And this maitre d' is in the back, and him and I just weren't getting along that night. Now understand, it's a wedding. Dance floor is packed. Bride and groom are in the center of the dance floor. If you could picture this, right? And I'm playing, and he wanted me to end exactly at 11 o'clock. Now I started Last Dance. Now, there's several versions of Last Dance. There's a 15-minute version. These are for DJs. You should know this. There's an 8-minute version. There's a 5-minute version. And there's the 3-minute version, the one that was on the radio. I was playing I wasn't being a jerk and playing the 15-minute, I was playing the 3-minute version. That's it. You heard it was Last Dance. You know it was Last Dance. I'm playing it. As soon as it's like 10:59, as soon as it's at 11 o'clock, there was maybe 2 verses left. What does he do? Turn the lights on. All the house lights come on. Where does everybody look? At me, the DJ. Like, I did that. Why the hell would I freaking do that? So, yeah, it's not that easy to DJ. So and I don't think these kids who think I think these kids are in for a rude awakening, is the truth. Because they don't know what they're getting themselves into.
So is that a trend with new DJs where they do the playlist thing? Or is
Probably, yes. Like I said, listen to me. If I were to give you what's called a controller, okay? And then I give you 2 powered speakers. And I say, put the wire in the controller, put the other end in the powered speaker, and plug it all in. Then I give you, then I say, okay, here on the screen or on a USB stick, here's the playlist. Just press play. And you're done. How is that a DJ? How is that in any definition a DJ? What is the difference between that and a human jukebox? That's all you are. No, a DJ can turn around and put on hip hop and, like you said, go to country and mix it in and make it sound good. And then go to rock and make it sound good. You know what I'm saying? Or like mix in the middle of a song, the chorus of the song. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, you go right into that. Like last night,
you
for
have
example,
to know music.
Yes, you have to know music. That's another thing. A lot of these new DJs, these young ones, they don't know music. They know the new music. They know top 40. So maybe they could get away with a Sweet 16. But then I would say to them, okay, how do you do the intro? How do you do the cake ceremony? Okay, and then I would say for like a quinceañera, which is for the Spanish people when they turn 15, I would say, all right, do the crown ceremony, do the shoe ceremony. They're like, what are you talking about? Yeah. And like I said before, do a wedding. You ask any DJ, ask him, get him in there for an interview and say, I want you to tell me, forget the music, how to line them up. What's the proper order to line them up before they come into a room? And see what they say. I would bet money on the fact that not many of you could come up with that answer. I'll tell you what it is. You want me to tell you what it is?
Yeah, sure.
I'll tell you. It's parents of the bride, parents of the groom, bridemaid ushers, ring bearer, flower girl, best man, maid of honor, and then the bride and the groom. Okay? A lot of people don't know that. I know that. I don't need a maitre d' to tell me that. I know that because I have it in here. When I started out, I would study. That's another thing. I didn't just come in, I'm a DJ. No. Bull crap. You asked me how I got started. Well, for me, it started really back in the day when we used to go to roller rinks. This is what it was, okay? Whatever. So I'm showing my age. Sue me. But we would go to roller rinks, and there was a DJ there, and I saw the power that this guy, or girl, they had female DJs even back then, was wielding, the power that they could play a song and make everybody get up, in the middle of the skating rink and dance or get up and skate, and the power that they had when you could say to a girl, hey, this is a shout out to so-and-so, and the girl would go, ah, and then run up there. Like that to me was incredibly alluring, the power that they had. And so I used to hang out behind the booth, boom, 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 boom. And then eventually, I tried to get into acting. I really did. I tried to get into acting. And they would all, that's how they get you as extras. There's a little trick so you know about a little Hollywood insider. The reason you ever see a movie and all those people walking around in the background, they're called extras. A lot of them don't get paid. They're only there because they're hoping that a guy with a big cigar come out and say, hey, I like the way you look, kid. Bull crap. You got to know somebody. Always remember that. Yes. So I did that for like a year and nothing was happening. Not because I wasn't good, because I was good. It was because the guy with the cigar I never met. And then one day and I'm going to show my age a little bit here. I got a ring on my beeper. My beeper went off, and I called up and I went to a payphone. If you don't know what that is, never mind. It was a payphone, and I went to the payphone. I dialed the number, and it was this DJ coming and said, "Hey, you called us up applying for a job. You want to come in as a dancer?" So here I am. I'm in the city, and I have to go there for like 12 hours. Take the train. Now they didn't pay. They didn't pay you for that. They gave me a check, not even cash. They gave me a check for 75 freaking bucks. And here they're saying, this is way back in the day, you could make that same $75 in 4 hours in cash, plus tips, and you get to be a dancer. I was 17 years old, 18 years old. I'm like, wait a minute, I can go to Sweet 16s. I can go to, 21st birthday parties. I could do high school graduation.
Was that 1995?
4, close. Wow, he's very good. And that's when my company, really got, well, no, it was actually before that. I'm stand corrected. It was before that. The company started in 1994. I was DJing before that, but I didn't know everything. And once I learned how to do everything, that's when I decided to open up my own company. What happened is that I got a million stories. I hope you have time for this.
Sure. Yeah.
But I was DJing a party. Now, I got to the point already. You have to understand, I've been DJing a while now. I've been emceeing a while. I've been dancing a while. So I was there with my partner that this guy teamed me up with, and we're still best friends today. And he's the one that actually taught me how to DJ. His name is Cut Supreme. You should listen to him on WUSB from Stony Brook. But anyway.
90.1 FM dial number.
So there you go. He comes on Thursday nights. So there you go. If you like underground hip-hop music, that's his thing. Anyway, where was I? All right. That's how I started to DJ. And one day, the owner of the company was there with us, and he left. And he goes, oh, you guys got this. And we were both nervous as hell. Again, this is our first gig by ourselves. And I had a book. I was smart enough to take notes, just like you do in a college class, high school. I took notes. And we were at a wedding. This wasn't some kind of fakakta party. This was a wedding. So I'm taking notes. I'm like, heck, what do we do now? Okay, we do this. And then we'd announce it, and we got through it. But he left his contract behind. And we saw the contract, and he was making like $1,000, and I'm making $75. The other guy's making. I'm like, this is really messed up. We can do this if we just practice. We can do this. So I didn't say anything then. We did it a few more weeks, and then by the summer of '94, we said, screw it. We're going to open up our own company and do it better. And I'd like to say that we're the only company, to the best of my knowledge, that's still around from all this time. Yes, there are still big company names who I won't mention on the air and help them out that are still around, but it's not the same people. They've retired and they've hired other people. I'm still here, the same guy, so I think that should mean something.
That's awesome. That's kind of like how I started my company. I did the same thing. I was in radio since I was like 17 or 18. And then
How'd you get into radio?
I knew a guy.
See?
I knew a guy.
You see?
Yeah. Well, so I was loading vans for like 5 years. So like all through college, I'd come home every summer. I'd load vans. We'd go to these events. I would hand out flyers and get people to sign up for giveaways. I touched no equipment. The only equipment I touched were these microphones, because this podcast I started 5 years almost to the day. May 25th is when I started the podcast.
Oh, we have to do an anniversary. And I know a great DJ.
There you go. And then
always be closing.
Yeah, always be closing. And I would use you too. I have to figure out what I'm going to do with it. But May 25th, 2019, I started this podcast in my college dorm room because I realized all of my friends were in the music industry program, and they had albums, EPs, bands they were performing, and then everyone in my major was just kind of there. Maybe they would do the college radio station, which I also did.
Right.
But I was like, I need an edge. How am I going to find a job? Because in my mind, I didn't want to be a businessman. I was like, God, that sounds so boring, which I was so wrong about that. This is the most fun I've had in a long time. So I made the podcast with the intent of having experience. So I get out of college and, loading vans again for a summer, but this time at a different company. And I was like, this is bullshit. I have 5 years of work experience. I have 3 or 4 years of podcasting experience, and I have a degree. I wasn't expecting $100,000, but I was fine making $15 an hour doing whatever.
I have a degree as well, and I went to Stony Brook. Hey, Stony Brook.
SBU.
And I majored in marketing and business, and I minored in psychology. And you can use it in your business, so
of course,
it's not a waste.
It's
but
definitely
I don't think
not.
College degrees are as good. You know what I mean?
No, my program
as they
was
were
horrible.
years ago.
I had to teach myself all this. So I ended up... so anyway, I go work at another radio station as a producer for 2 years. I realize I'm like, all right, working for someone in radio, you're not going to make more than $40,000 a year. I live on Long Island. We all know how expensive it is here. So I opened my own business. I said, fuck it. If I'm going to be poor, I might as well be happy and poor as opposed to miserable and poor.
100%.
So that's why I did this. And I said, we'll take a leap of faith. And that was 2 years ago. So I had to self-teach myself all this because, to your point about the college education, it's not a waste, but because it gets you motivation to do what other people don't do when they're not in college. But I had to self-teach myself everything. They were shifting over.
What I meant by that is that when I go to DJ party, not once has anybody come to me and said, "Do you have a college degree? Yeah, good. Okay, I'll hire you." No,
Yeah, no, never.
It's never happened at any meeting. I use it, to make contracts. In fact, I've had other DJs. How did you make that contract? Who wrote that for you? I wrote it. You wrote that? Yeah. So the college does help. But it's not like, for example, like if you go into a job interview, you say, "I graduated from an Ivy League school," that'll help you.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying don't go to college. You should get an education. But what I mean to say is, like, if you walk in to any job and say, "I have a degree from Harvard," you're going to get hired on the spot because that's already impressive. And such as Stony Brook too. But for me, people don't care. They want to know we're going to show up on time. We're going to rock the house. We're going to be professional. We're going to be fun. We're going to be outgoing. We're going to do what we have to do. You know what I mean? We get paid and go home. And then if we also do pictures too and video as well. So, if we send it to them and everybody's happy. They just want to know we're not going to screw it up. So that's usually how that goes.
You don't want to screw up a wedding. I remember I was subcontracted to do photography for a wedding on a boat in Manhattan. And I was like, all right, here we go. And that was scary because that was like my first ever, like I've done other photo shoots, but it was like, that was my first wedding. And I had, the DJ.
Well, you got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere. And I was like, this was over the summer actually. And I was like, all right, we'll do it. And it came out great. People liked it. You got to start somewhere. And I like that, this is the difference between people like they get into your field and my field today as opposed to when, you started. And a lot of people today, they get into these fields just because they want a big paycheck. Instead of like, okay, I'm getting into this, I'm starting it, I want to learn how to get good at it, and then when I'm confident, I could start upping my prices. When I get more portfolio, I can start my price, which is what I did, and that's how I'm able to.
It's funny you mention that because I've had people come up to me and say, I have a friend of mine that's a professional photographer, and he doesn't do what you do. He'll take people outside and do those. You see the wedding shots, what I call the wedding shots. We do that. But I also try and get people spontaneous. Like the guys, I remember I did one wedding and this guy's breakdancing and I got all that on video. He didn't get a picture of it, nothing. He's out there doing the oil painting, typical wedding shots, which is fine, but I get everything. I get that, and then I also get that. I go to each table, I take a picture, so these are things that we offer in our company. And always take 2 pictures. That I could tell you too.
Yes.
As a DJ, you learn little tricks too, even when you're doing. Why? Because in the first picture, their eyes are closed, and in the second picture, their eyes are open. And there's always a woman that's going to say, "Oh, I hate the way I look." Let me see that. Oh, that's the. You know what I mean? Always. So you always do 1, 2. As quick as you can. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And you find that they're not all the same. A lot of times they're different. Oh, that guy's making a weird face. He's not going to like that. Let me delete that.
And thank God you have those extras.
Right.
I used to do a thing where when I was first starting photography, I'd put it in sport mode. That automatic function.
Yes.
I would do that, and I would just be like, click, 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 and I'd get like 30 pictures.
Yeah, like paparazzi mode almost.
Yeah, paparazzi mode. I used to do a lot of sports photography when I started out. In high school, I used to do the sports games for one of the local papers. And then, I stuck with photo a little bit in high school, but what killed photo for me is that I had a teacher that ruined it for me.
What happened?
She was a cunt. It's just, Miss Fandel, you sucked. You were a fucking bitch. I have no problem saying that to your face. But yeah, she really was. We were in AP Art my senior year of high school. The class started with 25 kids. There were 6 left by the end of week 6. There were 6 kids left because they all were like, this woman is making it miserable for us. She was nasty.
I understand.
She would actually, one day she came in. And apparently someone was talking shit about her. So she comes in, she says, if anyone has anything to say to me right now, say it to my face, because I'm not going to stand for anyone talking shit behind my back.
Right.
And I'm like, this woman could be our mother. You know what I mean? And we're like 17, 18 years old, first period. And I'm like, fuck this. I took a late arrival. I came in at second period with a bagel every day. And I dropped that goddamn class. I was like, this is my senior year. And then, it's so funny. And she would always shit on my photos. I was getting like a 60 or 70 in the class, graduated, whatever. And then my university hires me to be the university photographer for their yearbook.
See, now what I would have done is I would have wrote her. See, the right thing to do in that point is I would have said, hey, guess what? I'm now this and now this. And I just wanted to write you a thank you letter for all your help. That's a nice way of being a sarcastic. See, you never thought of that. That's what I would have done. Seriously, that's exactly what I would have done. Thank you so much for all your help and support. Your favorite guy, and I would have signed off on it.
Your favorite student.
Your favorite student, right? And then sign it, and make sure it's on the paper, like from the university with their logo on it. That I would have done that. But, that's just me.
Fucking funny. I was thinking about doing it, but then what happened was she retired the year that I graduated, so I couldn't
find out where she lives. Come on,
find out where she lives.
See, that's what I mean. This is like you say. You want to talk about technology? You could do that too. Go on Facebook.
Go on People Finder. Go on peoplefinder.com.
Everybody.
Oh my god.
I know.
That's a terrifying way. I found out. So to detract, my apartment was haunted in college. Genuinely haunted.
Here we go. Now we're going to that side.
I got dragged in a chair. I had something whisper in my ear, and I felt its lips. It was disgusting. So I fucking.
Was it a girl whispering or was it a guy?
I don't want to find out. I don't know. It was androgynous. You're sick. You're sick.
Well, you could say, listen, can you just I tell you what, you can live here, just manifest yourself, for like an hour or two, then go.
That's fucking crazy. Nah, I think it was a girl because my roommate saw this lady in white in the corner of his room, like just menacingly.
Well, why didn't you have it blessed?
I did. It didn't work.
It didn't work?
Yeah.
But then you have. See, I'm. So those of you who don't know, I'm not Italian. Leaving a lot of people think I'm actually Jewish. Hey, don't ask me about current events because I'm not going to mention that. But I'm not going to go into politics. But I've heard weird things in my house, and we call it, like, you would call it a pastor or a priest. We had a rabbi come. I had a rabbi come, and he blessed the house, and that was it. That was it.
Really?
It was anything like as elaborate as you, but I heard things like I thought I heard laughter once. I'm like, is that my freaking room? Like what the hell? And I wasn't sure, so I just come and bless the house.
Well, I didn't have a priest come. I did it myself with sage, so that probably didn't work. So I didn't.
So you basically put some spices in a cup. What did you do? Did you take the spices and just pour it out?
I took a big bundle of some nice smelling shit and light it on fire.
Did you throw it on? The power of Christ compels you.
I did.
The power of Christ compels you.
I did. I was reading the Saint Michael's poem, and that wasn't Saint whatever poem. Archangel Michael's poem.
Yeah,
that
our
didn't
Father
work.
on heaven. See, I'm Jewish. I even know this crap.
It didn't work. So then I was just screaming, "Get the fuck out of my house!" And it kind of worked, but then it didn't. And then it was just. So I come back a year later, and I'm visiting, and I go past my house, and I'm walking down the block. And I'm like, oh, I feel like my stomach hurts. I'm looking at the house, totally black, and I took a picture of it because I want to send it to my old roommate. Put the phone in my pocket. I feel like my back, like cold, like an ice cube was just rubbed up there. Fucking chills. I feel like something's right behind me, and my phone starts burning my leg. You know how your phone overheats?
Why didn't you have a friend with you to record all this?
I don't know. Because I'm kind of retarded. So, oh no, when it first happened, I was recording an episode of this show. So it was my junior year.
So you're in the room?
No, we're outside on my porch, and I'm sitting on
But that's no fun. You got to be in the room so you can record it.
I didn't have the camera. I had the portable.
I noticed that, folks. Whenever it comes to this stuff, it's always blurry. Nobody has a camera. It's only for 3 seconds.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm not calling you a liar.
I know you're not, but it's just it happens like
true,
that. So, but we're recording audio, and you could hear the chair get dragged. So I'm in the chair. I get dragged. My friend Thomas is, and I could call him, and I could be like, "Yo, you remember when this happened?" So he's like getting interviewed. It's a project for my class. So I get dragged in the chair, and we're both like, what the actual fuck? So I was like, yo, let's pop it in my computer and see if we can hear anything. So we go around. Oh my God, it's so great. File's not there.
File's not there.
The file got wiped from the SD card.
That's really weird, man.
Yeah, it was fucked up. So then we're moving out. My parents are helping me move out my senior year. My dad picks up. Now this was our lawn chair that we brought, so it's like about this wide.
Right.
So it's plastic.
Average lawn chair.
Yeah,
I got it.
Yeah. So we're putting it on the truck, and it keeps falling off. He's like, "What the fuck is going on with this?" Finally gets it down. He's like, "Oh yeah." He holds it. He gets shocked. The chair flies off the fucking truck. He's freaking the fuck out. He doesn't believe in that shit either. He's like, "What the fuck?" And
burn the chair.
we left it. We said, "This is a parting gift." We said goodbye to the house. My mom said goodbye house. She touched the wall and she got shocked. He's like, all right, let's get the fuck out of here. I swear to God.
It's the Amityville Horror and the DJ show,
Yo, literally, welcome. Sorry to detract from that, but it's just like, I love telling that story. It's like Backpacking America lore. Like every 10 episodes I bring it up. Because it's just that crazy.
I never heard a story. That's incredible.
It was fucked up.
Really, see, that would be great for a series. If anybody's watching, here you go. That's a new series.
The reason I bring it up is because I went on People Finder to look up the address, and I got all the inhabitants up until 1986 of that address. And I was like, do I call them and say, hey, I lived in that apartment? Was it haunted? Because it was haunted.
Why don't you do that? The Ghost Podcast. I don't think anybody has that.
I might do
It's the Ghost Podcast with yours truly. We appreciate you showing up today, ladies and gentlemen, for this terrifying tale of madness and craziness.
I did have a Google Voice number, so I can't actually route it into the recording, and I could do that.
You never know.
You never know.
I get 10%.
You get 10% if it makes any money. But listen, so we're almost at an hour here. So I want you to give people an idea of where they could find you, what they could expect from a party from you, and any last words.
Okay. Well, that's a handful. My name is Greg. I've been DJing since I'm 16 years old. I'm a little bit older than the host. I think you can figure that out. This is all I do. I do it full time. The name of my company is called Supreme Parties, SUPREME, You can find me very simply at supremeparties.com. Okay? I'm on there as well. So is all pictures that we've done, all videos that we've done, all the places that we've been to. I've also implemented new AI technology. So that's pretty cool. Not many DJs have done that. Always trying to stay ahead of the game. So there's AI. You'll see it. If you could guess what it is, you get a prize. And we'll just leave it at that. At one of my parties, or one of your parties rather, you could expect that it's going to be as close to perfect as possible, because we have a no screw up rule. Like I said, step one, you are having a party. You call up the number, and the number, by the way, is 888-877-2270. Again, it is 888-877-2270. You call up the number. We pick up the phone. Supreme Parties, can I help you? And then we start discussing and we talk. You tell me what you want. I'll even come up with a price with you then. We're not going to come to your house and surprise you. Hey, it's $1 million. We're not going to do that for you to throw us out of your house. That'd be stupid. So I'll come up with a price and package that best suits you. Yes, we have prices on our website. It doesn't mean it's written in stone. Everything's always negotiable. I try and work with everybody because everybody deserves a party. From the poorest person to the richest person, everybody deserves to have a party. You know what I'm saying? So you call us up. We go over everything. The next step is we schedule an appointment. And as I said earlier in the broadcast, you don't come to us. We would come to you. So it'd be either me or my partner, probably me. I would come out to your home, wherever you live, or we could meet at a Starbucks, whatever you feel comfortable with, and we'll go over everything from beginning to middle to end. Questions that you never even thought of. How many people are coming? Or if it's a surprise party, here's a question that DJs never ask you. When the person walks in and everybody else surprised, what song do you want us to play right then? See what I mean? There's little things like that. We'll go over things you never even thought of. Are there kids there? Do you want us to do kids games? What about participation dances? Electric country slide, cha-cha slide, Cotton Eye Joe, chicken dance, YMCA, the wobble, the wop, the Dougie. There's so many, and we know how to do them all, by the way. So you're not going to be out there drunk and they can fool yourself. We actually know how to do it. So when we do your party, expect to have a really, really great time. Expect that your friends and family members and relatives will have a great time, and we'll make sure you have memories that'll last a lifetime. Another thing I do is something called LifeLock, which is not on the website, but I'm telling you about it. And that is that if we make a contract with you and you do business with us again, we will match that price. Even if our prices go up, we'll match that. Not many DJs are willing to do that. Once the prices go up, that's it. I don't do that, again, because then you don't use me again. How dumb is that? So, we always try and work within your budget, and we're going to have a great time. We're very, very professional. I have DJs, I have MCs, I have dancers, I have videographers, I have picture people, I have photographers. Thank you very much. I even have dancers, beautiful girls, and I'll say good-looking guys because I don't want to, So I do. I have these gorgeous girls that come up to me all the time. That's one of the things that when I DJ at a club or a bar, they always come up to me, hey, you need any help? Yeah, you're gorgeous. Will you be a dancer? What do I have to do? Clap your hand. So I have that. We do all kinds of parties. We do adult parties too, which I won't get into. You can go to the website and you can look at it and you can decide if you want to go down that road, but we do everything. As I said, we've been in the business a long time. We can handle anything, any language, any culture. That's another thing. Some DJs don't have any idea, what like we said before, what we were doing with whether it's Bollywood, which is Indian music, Indian music. See, they don't know that. Freestyle. So you ask people what freestyle is. Some people, the younger generation, might say, isn't that just freestyle on the mic, like rapping? Yes, that's one form of freestyle, but to us, freestyle music, is a whole style of music that usually Italian people like, but that's a whole nother thing. We're not going to get into that, but we play everything: rock and roll, freestyle, hip hop, R&B, reggae, funk, black, white, Puerto Rican. It doesn't make a difference. We do it all, and we've been doing it all for a long time, and we do it very affordably, and we're very professional. So if you're having a party or any type of special occasion where you even think you might need a DJ, just give us a call, 888-877-2270. I promise I got you. And mention this show, and I'll give you even more of a discount. I got you. How's that? Was that good?
That was freaking great, man. Well, Greg, thank you so much for coming on Backpacking America for episode 290 and for one of the first shows in our new studio. So it
looks beautiful, by the way. You did a great. He did a great job. It looks great.
Thank you very much.
You got it, boss.
And for everyone listening, this has been recorded at the Barone Media Solutions podcast studio out in 80 Orville Drive, Bohemia, New York, 11716. Thank you to Barone Media Solutions. And thank you to you for listening to my show. And until next time.